Woo! It's an art stream, a super normal art stream. We're normaling to the max here. Okay, 1 second. We're posting one more. There it is. Posted in all the places that matter. Hello, 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 Nevermore. Hello, Bookworm War. Oh, there it is. I've been working on this drawing all day and couldn't find it inexplicably. Just wanted, don't know if I'll work on it on stream, but just wanted to show people. How are things going? Ah, yes. Minecraft. Yeah. Well, those are always fun. Men and women fought for your right to be lazy, never. Take it with pride. Sit down and... it's really just any other day. I was thinking of going downtown today. Oh, the only thing that happened is I have this cold brew thing, and my mom broke it. So that's the most significant. I've had it for years. That's the most significant thing that's happened to me is my cold brew thing is broken. You guys want to arrange? I'll do we'll do a fundraiser to help me buy a new cold brew machine. Cold brew pot, which is $40. Yeah. Oh, book. If you could, could you do me a favor and test out the newsletter thing right down there? Just see if it works. Yeah. Yeah. Oh yes, that's my website. That's my website. Nothing really on there yet, but um, just see if the email part works. Just fill it in. See if that part is working. I don't discredit the possibility that I've misspelled something, but I'm not sure what I've misspelled. There's a very real possibility that I have misspelled stuff. did I? PNDRA. That would be a mistake I would do. PNDAR. PNDR. Oh, thank God. No, the thing. Yeah, the site header is misspelled, but what I was worried about was the URL. I can fix the site header pretty easily. What I was worried about is I may have accidentally misspelled the URL. That's what I was really scared about. No, the URL is fine. Oh. Okay. Oh, lovely. Oh, thank God. Oh, scared. Oh, just fix the site header in a minute. I was scared there for a minute about the URL because I have that for the next decade, and it's going to be very exhausting to explain that to people if I had misspelled it. That feels like a thing I would do. That's a thing I often do is mix up letters like that in sentences. Yeah. No, it worked. If you signed up for it, it worked. Jaden! How's it going, Jaden? J to the A to the Y to the D to the E to the N to the I to the S to the R to the H to the E. Jaden! Very nice. So how is... Really? That makes sense. We both talk about movies a lot. Yeah, we do different things, but I mean, they've been on. They pop up. Mama, the buckle pops up here every once in a while. They're cool. They're cool people over there at Mama Buckle. So I'm honored that you acquaint me with them. I'm gonna bother them someday with something. Woo. Robin Reckham. Good to see you, Robin. It's nobody. Nobody still picked up on that. But anyways, I'm doing good. I didn't get to run today. It's hot. Everything's hot. I'm tired. It's hot. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. Ah. Oh, there's gonna be light rain tomorrow. Very nice. It's Memorial Day, Jaden. And what did our forefathers do? Fight and die so that we could sit around doing nothing. And I think that's the most American thing possible. Yes, happy 4th of July. Memorial Day. Well, now it feels like it's your name, Robin Reckon. That feels like a name. That feels like just your name. I assume your family were the Reckons. Darn it. That sounds like something those bastards would do. Ugh. Rakin. Oh, I get it. Robin Rakin. Robin Rakin! And featuring Robin Rakin! I just assumed it was Reckon. Robin Reckon. Like you were gonna wreck stuff up. It a little bit, yeah. I thought, yeah, it's a good name, right? Robin Reckon for a wrestler. That should be your wrestler name. Get you Reckon. Get you into yeah, let's get you into a Fed right now. I'm just laughing at myself because I'm like, Robin. You're like one of the most mild people I know, and I'm like, getting you into a wrestling ring would be very, very. I don't think. Who do you think would make a good? Yes, that's probably good for comic books. Who do you think here would make the best wrestler? Honestly, I haven't been keeping up with wrestling as much as I used to as of late. Kind of miss it, but was a little bit disappointed with WrestleMania this year. Have to admit. Have to admit, was kind of disappointed. I was really loving it until that last match with Cody and John Cena. It's funny how they're anyway. No, stop talking. Nobody cares. It seems that they're essentially resetting up the. They're doing a remix of New World Order, which is funny. Or knowing Triple H and the stuff he likes, it seems more specific. He's doing a re. It's actually probably an older idea. It's the danger. He's probably doing. He's actually probably inching more towards the Dangerous Alliance, which is a much older thing. Anyways, nobody cares. Nobody cares. Jaden, what would your wrestler name be? Oh, that's a fun idea. Okay, everybody here has to pick their wrestler name. What would your wrestler name be? Jaden the Conqueror? I don't know. For some reason, I'm picturing you as Jumpin' Jade. How about Jumpin' Jaden? No, Brecken Robin, yeah. No. Jaden Jet. Brecken Robin. Well, I realize now it's also like the pretty similar to Reckon Ralph. The Conqueror really that's not really like an epithet you would get. Reckon Robin would be a thing. Reckon Robin. Wreck-It Ralph. That's what I was trying to remember. How about? Oh, that's a real wrestler. You've just landed on a real person. Rockin' Robin was a real wrestler. Jaden. I mean, Jaden Conquer could work. I'm trying to figure out a way to incorporate Thunderbolt into your name, Jaden. That's what I'm trying to do. Jaden Thunder. Reckon the Wrecker. Raken the Wrecker. Thunder Jaden. Jaden Thunder. Ooh, Jaden Thunder Liger. No, I don't know if you could. There's a wrestler who goes by Jushin Thunder Liger. He's He's maybe my favorite wrestler. There's a few guys, but I like Jushin Thunder Liger a lot. But I always find it, one of the things I find so funny about him is that the way they always present it is his name is Jushin Liger and Thunder is just his nickname. So it's Jushin Liger and then there's and then it's like, so it almost makes me laugh because I'm always like, there's a lot of Jushin Ligers out there. We have to distinguish, we have to like clarify that this is, it's like, which Jushin Liger are we talking about? Are we talking about Jushin Liger that works at the chemist, or Jushin Liger that is that's a grocery store, works at the grocery? No. You don't understand. It's Jushin Thunder Liger. Oh, Jushin Thunder Liger. Okay. What would your finishing move be? No, real question. What would your entrance be? I mean, you could. Probably. I mean, the thing about like wrestling is it's all about looking like you get hurt and not actually getting hurt. So it's all it's just all theatrics. Pro wrestling. Thank you. This is from an idea I've had. Thank you. For a story for a while that kind of it's based on it's a story I've had for it's an idea for a story I've had for a very long time. Uh, it's about a guy who gets transported. It's about a guy who gets transported to the. I don't know. It's just a scene I've had in my head for a long time, where it's this barbarian girl and this guy who got transported from our time, and he was listening to music when he got transported back, and he gives her his headphones to listen to, and she's very confused by the music she hears coming out of them. It's not really a full like it's not really like a full scene, like a story. It's just a scene I've had in my head for a while that I have no idea what to do with, but I've always liked the idea as an image. Just a barbarian girl listening to music. On some headsets. I don't know. Maybe it could be like take place in the future, where civilization has fallen far or something, and she finds some headsets. That might also some headphones. That might also be good. I don't know. It's just an idea I've had in my head for a long time for a story. I don't really know what to. But it's not. That's kind of it. But anyways, it's a good image at least. So I wanted to draw it. I've tried to draw it a few times. Yeah, imagine yourself with muscles. We should all start. Robin, we should all start lifting weights. We'll all get huge and swole. We can use that to start beating people up. I don't know. I don't know if I've talked to you about if you've been here when I talked to you about this book. My main project is a book about a orc pro wrestler, Balkan Robin. I'm sure the people here are sick of it, but not sick of hearing about it. But not sick of it, but it's like I gotta finish it. I gotta release it at some point. And it's getting closer to release. It's getting closer and closer to release date every day. Yeah, I'm actually pretty happy with how this is turning out. I have to admit, this picture. Are the eyes a little bit too close? Is it a little off focus? Should probably refocus it. Anyways, okay. What are your guys' now? The real question is: every great wrestler has like an entrance song, and has an elaborate entrance. So, what's like your entrance? What entrance do you guys want? Okay, come on. that's a little bit more focus. Glorious. You are creative, Robin. I believe in you. Uh, okay. This would be my pitch for Jaden's theme song. Yeah, that's right at the beginning. Fade! Good to see ya. Fade! Good to see ya. It is going good, Fade. Yeah? That's good to hear. What does that mean exactly? I still can't get. One thing I heard about drawing the mouth is that the mouth and the eyes should be kind of in a square with each other. Kind of a perfect square. A triangle with each other, not square. Oh, yeah. Jeez, that's intense. Has anybody died doing that? That sounds very intense to me. Okay, I imagine so. Uh, yeah, I imagine. I imagine. I imagine people would. That sounds like it would happen. So, but you're excited for this? Okay, that sounds fun. You win at it every year, right? This is a thing where you win. This is a thing. This is a thing where there are winners and losers, right? I imagine. I imagine. You're going to take home the gold, right, Fade? You're going to take home the gold. Oh, all of life is a competition. I was just reminded of something I was going to talk about. Uh, no, obviously, have fun. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I worry sometimes when I do bits like that. When I do bits like that, people will take me super seriously. I'm obviously being facetious. Have you guys ever heard of? Have you guys ever heard of the 1904 uh, Olympic Games? I know that sounds quite random, but have you guys ever heard of this story? Okay, okay, but it's a pretty infamous thing that happened. I was just curious if anybody had heard of it because I want to talk about it. Because the thing you said, Fade, reminded me of it. I'm just trying to remember everything that happened. Okay, so so um, so the 1904 Olympic Games are pretty important in the history of the Olympics. They were held in St. Louis, and they were. It was the first time the Olympics were held outside of Europe. Now, nowadays, this is no big deal because this is no big deal because you can just fly to wherever. But back then, that was more of a big deal because that was more of a big deal because you can do that. You'd have to take like a ship and stuff. Anyways, so numerous events were held, but the most infamous is the men's marathon that was held. at the Olympic Games. Now, these were a group of desperate. These were a group of desperate. This was a much more ragtag group of people that were included, and the heavy favorite was. Sorry, I'm just going back to the names. Was a guy named Thomas Hicks. Keep that in mind. Thomas Hicks was the heavy favorite. He was an American. Now keep it in mind because Hicks is going to have a bit of a history. Now, but there were a few other people, and notably, this is the very first event where African men competed in the Olympics, I believe, if I remember correctly. Yes, it was. Now, the reason they competed is because the reason they were allowed to compete is because St. Louis is in the middle of the country. It's difficult for Europeans to get there at that time, so frequently a lot of Europeans, in fact, didn't go. What was happening at the same time as the St. Louis Olympics were the St. Louis World Fair, which is the World Fair was it was a big international fair, and that used to be quite a big deal on the level of like the Olympics, to the point where the World Fair was actually the more relevant thing at the moment. And if you're curious what a World's Fair was, like think every few years a country would create its own Disneyland for a couple of weeks. That's what the World's Fair was. Disneyland, in many ways, it was an attempt to create a more permanent world-style fair. Okay, so one of the things they had at the World's Fair was in St. Louis was this thing called historical reenactments, where they would have like African people dressed in traditional African garb reenacting battles. So two of those men got to compete because there was such a dearth. They were like, okay, you can compete. They were Len and Jan, and I believe it was Len. And Len was actually somewhat of a favorite to win, but unfortunately he was. Oh, that sounds nice. That sounds nice, but that's funny. That sounds funny. That's funny. So Len was a favorite to win, but unfortunately he was chased off the course by an aggressive dog. So one of the things that's notable about the this marathon was they didn't actually close the roads. The roads were still opened as the Olympics were happening. So like the runners had to compete with like cars on the road, and a dog and one of the guys was chased by a dog, and he theoretically may have been able to win the race if it wasn't for that dog. Okay, so then we have the road, by the way, you may have guessed, was actually quite a big problem. Quite a big problem, and a lot of athletes quit because cars and stuff that passed by were kicking up so much dust that they would just collapse. One of the men that didn't quit, though, was a man named Adriana. Forgive me, Cuban friends. Adriana Cavacha, who was a mailman from Cuba, who to raise money to enter the marathon, did runs around Cuba, and he raised enough money to get direct passage to get passage all the way to St. Louis. But he arrived in New Orleans. He arrived in New Orleans and lost all of the money. He lost all of the money gambling. So he had to hitchhike his way there, and he made it just in time. But he didn't have the proper clothes. He didn't have the proper clothing for it. So he just had these these breeches that he cut. He had his boots and his breeches. So he just cut the breeches into shorts and ran. And Adrian would actually end up getting fourth place. Now, the winner seemingly was a man by the name of Frederick Lors, who had won the Boston Marathon previously. Okay, it gets wilder. It gets wilder. The winner initially seemed to be Frederick Lors. Now, Frederick Lors was in fact a favorite. He was a bricklayer. And he had won the Boston Marathon previously, and so a lot of people theorized he could win. But the story behind Frederick Lors is was he? Yeah, I believe he's the one who. Let's see. 1 second. Sorry, I keep having. The one thing I'm terrible about is with names and keeping track of all the names. Okay. Let's see. Okay, yeah. Lors after 9 miles quit, and his manager just gave him a ride to the finish line. But Lors didn't really tell anybody that he had done this, so he ran across the finish line, and he was declared the winner. He had ridden mostly in the car, then ran across the finish line and declared the winner. And as Alice Roosevelt, the daughter of Theodore Roosevelt, was placing the medal on him, it was discovered. That this had happened. Now, the eventual winner was Thomas Hicks. Do you remember Thomas Hicks, the guy I told you to remember? Now, Thomas Hicks was the favorite to win. Now, okay. So, here's I now must add another detail about this. The organizer of the event, would you believe he had some sort of what was described as radical ideas about athletes' hydration. And he didn't think that athletes needed to hydrate as much as they thought they did. So he only arranged one watering hole the entire run. This is a marathon. And all of these guys are running in dirt, and like they're breathing in smoke. They're breathing in like dust from the cars because they haven't closed the roads off. So, but Hicks is the early favorite to win. And his manager really wants him to win. But by the end of the race, he's pretty much dead. Like, not like, oh, he's so dead tired. He's almost dead. Like, physically, he just collapses. So, they decide, it's like, well, they can't drink water. That's for the weak. So what they decide instead to give him is a mix of brandy and strychnine. Now, you may not recognize right off the bat what strychnine is, but strychnine is more known today as rat poison. It's what we use to poison rats. So the last mile of this guy's run, this last few, I don't remember exactly how long it is, but the last mile or so of this guy's run, he was drunk and given rat poison. Now, you may be curious why, because rat poison was thought. So yeah, he won, and he said, "Okay." Hicks had received several doses of strychnine, a common rat poison, which stimulates the nervous system in small doses, mixed with brandy and egg whites. This was the earliest recorded use of performance-enhancing drugs in the Olympic Games. He continued to battle onwards, hallucinating, and was barely able to walk for most of the course. When he reached the stadium, his support team carried him over the line, holding him in the air while he suffered. He shuffled to his feet as is still running. Hicks had to be carried off the track in a stretcher and might have died had he not been treated by 4 doctors. He lost 8 pounds during the course of the marathon. Our friend, the Cuban postman, joined the last minute and finished 4th. The South African entrants finished Len and Jan finished respectively 9th and 12th. This was considered a disappointment because many observers were sure Len could have actually done a lot better if he had been not chased off course for nearly a mile by wild dogs. James Edward Sullivan was the chief organizer of the Olympics and set up no water springs along the 24 miles of the marathon, and it was conducted in 90 Fahrenheit degree heat on unpaved roads which were choked with dust. He wanted to research purposeful dehydration. I believe this also... Ooh, I want to see. I believe this was... I believe till this day this maintains the record for the longest winning Olympic marathon. Yeah. So your camp. That's what it reminds me of. That's the point of the story. Your camp. That's what it reminds me of. It reminds me of those Olympics. Okay, Jane. Let's see. Oh, very nice. Very nice. Surprisingly, nobody did, but some people came very close. Our boy Thomas Hicks would have probably died either from the run itself or the rat poison he was given. So yeah, that's my favorite. That's my favorite Olympics is the 1904 because it's because of all the stuff that happened. Is that your main bad guy, Jaden? I don't know. I don't know, Fade. I think a lot of those guys were just whiners who didn't really want it. Well, it would I for who didn't really want it, who didn't really have the hearts of champions. A real champion, a real champion, Fade would drink a whole gallon of rat poison is for the strong. Drink. But I take it you're excited for this camp fade. Well, yeah, that's why. Well, yeah, that's why they were taking it, was to thin his blood so he could run faster. It's funny how that doesn't pop up in the chat itself, but it pops up in the window. Are her eyes a bit too close together? I think her eyes are a bit too close together. I always make this mistake. Yeah. You. You know, a lot of musicians sit down to play their instruments, Fade. Have you ever thought about that? The ones that sit down? I just can't get her mouth right. Yeah. Oh, so what are you playing now? Mellophone. Mellophone. Take a break from that. Start a new drawing. Yeah, you should. Okay, Fade, serious question. If it all worked out perfectly for you, where do you think you'll be? And you're passionate about it too, which is, I think, great. We need more musicians. You know, Fade, I have to say, because of you, I think I get recommended a lot more. Where would you be in like 5 to 10 years if it all worked out perfectly for you? Okay. Yeah. Very good. I was going to tell you, Fit, because of you and you interacting with my channel, I have I believe I believe it's because of you. I'm now getting recommended videos of like uh court, your stuff, your marching bands. I got a lot of marching band stuff recommended to me now. It's very, I find that very funny. Anyways. Yeah, woo. That's fair. I'm just gonna draw an original character. I don't have any ideas for an original character, but I'm just gonna draw one. Okay, and we'll see what happens. Ooh, like the Michael Keaton movie. That's very cool. Oh, I can't be tired now. Triple A, how's it going? Triple A, how's it going? Oh my God, it's Triple A. A to the A to the A. It's Triple A. How's it going, Trips? You sound excited. Oh, no, not really. I would say, if you want me to do that book, feel free. But uh, we, I would, I would maybe not do it this stream, but like a stream later, like not like because we're doing art right now. But if you redeem that, I was thinking of we could do like a special stream where I look at stuff. If that's more up to your speed. Yeah. I mean, if you, yeah, feel free to redeem it now, but like it's just on a like setup note. It's a lot easier for me to do it when we're doing like more of a writing stream. Triple A, what? Congratulations on all the things. Both things are pretty fun. Holy heck! Congratulations. Triple A with the Riz, the high intensity Riz. I don't know why some of these don't come up. Oh, with the high intensity Riz, I can see. I'm sorry to hear that, babe. Jaden starting high school, A is ending high school, and Fade I think is in the middle of it. Yeah, all of you should be friends. We have another. Now I'm looking. Dang. You know, Fade. Just randomly, there's another kid who pops up here who's also a very dedicated band kid, and I keep thinking you two probably have a lot. You two would probably get along very well, and I'm like, I'm very, I'm like, but you two never show up on the same day. You two never show up on the same day, and I'm always like, you two need to show up on the same day one day because you both, I suspect you two would get along very well as friends. As friends. I'm just trying to arrange a friendship here. But you two never show up. You two never. It's always so funny. If they're here, you're not. So, Trip. What? Okay. How was the? Yes, I believe. Yes, that's their name. That's their name. Yeah. Hey, welcome to the YouTube, Jaden. Oh, I would point out that you two have. Yeah. Anyways, so hey, tell me how does it feel to graduate high school? Are you going to go to college? Are you just going to hang out for a little bit? Very good, very good. So was the girlfriend getting thing like last day is it's the last day you'll ever see this person? You have to ask them out now, or it's never going to happen, sort of thing, or because you've had an eventful few days, I imagine. You should take it, Fade. That's something you're clearly interested in. You should take it. Won't make you feel particularly good about the world, but will give you a probably good sense. Yeah, unfortunately, they're not. But you should take it. Oh yeah. Very nice. I mean, we could look at more than just 1,000, but yeah. And it's Ray. Why are things popping up? Okay. Anyways, hey Ray, how's it going today? Yes. Yeah. They're. I will. Yes, that's why they're very excitable. See, that's how to do it. That's how to do it. It's if it if they say no, it's like, oh well, it was just a joke. I'm just kidding. You know, you cloak it in irony. You cloak it in irony, and if it doesn't work out, oh, that'd be good stories. Well, most women history classes like examine gender roles and like It's not a bad. It's honestly not a bad stuff. Something to take if. Yeah, yeah, but that's the best way to do it. Man, I had such a crush. Yeah, yeah. There was this girl in college I had such a crush on, and that was going to be my plan. I was going to like present it as a joke, and then like, no, that did not happen. But I think, how's it going, Ray? Good to see you today. Why is the? Yeah, it's coming pretty far. I'm a little bit. It's like 75, 85% written. It's like 75, 85% written. I mean, if you guys want to take so it's pretty decently far. I need to make some there's a few big decisions I want to make in it that I haven't really like um, figured out how to do yet. But sure. Uh, we could do book, by the way. If you want to do if you want to do like a terrible, not terrible the terrible novelist esque thing where I spend an hour or two looking at your thing, I'd be up for that. Oh, why is it out of focus? It's been out of focus this whole time. One second, I gotta fix this. I mean, if you guys want to look at what the book is like now, I don't mind. My book. I don't mind. I can send you a link to the Google Doc. Yeah, it's always good. I mean, I would truthfully, I like some opinions from younger people about this story, but uh, uh, hey, you're doing the ghost thing, if I remember correctly. Jaden, you're plenty young. You're plenty young, Jaden. Jaden, I think you're my second youngest follower. If I have it all worked out in my head, I believe you're the second youngest person who follows me. Yours is about the is yours about the ghost? Yeah. No, Tato, I believe. Tato, I believe, is the youngest. I believe Tato is the youngest. and I think you're the second youngest. There used to be a 10-year-old who followed me, which I was very surprised to learn. Yeah, you're the yeah. Yeah, so Fade is Fade's a sophomore. You're a freshman. A has just graduated. Yeah, you're the youngest. I think only Tato is younger than you, Jaden. Yeah. Uh, yes, you're the third, and yes, Fade. I believe you're the third youngest. Oh, well, I have a Discord channel that I believe everybody here is on. If you want to join it. Yeah. Mostly people just post their art there. Yeah, sure, let me invite you. And I occasionally share my opinions about obscure folk singers from like the 90s. And nobody pays attention to that, but I like it. Oh, Bookworm posting. Low key band kid. Oh yeah, I was super into that band for a while. I'm just looking at the music thing. I was like, oh yeah, I was super into. Yeah, Johnston. Yeah, I was posting about Daniel Johnston. Ah, Daniel Johnston. Johnston. You guys want to see a cool band? You guys want to see a cool band from Siberia? I think you guys. I think you're the people who might be into this. This is Octin. They're a Turk band from Siberia. Okay. I love the Cranberries. I love the Cranberries, by the way. They're a great band. If you, okay, I want to recommend you another band, but you're going to bed. Look up the Cardigans if you like the Cranberries. I think you'll be into it. Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know why the Twitch comments aren't popping up. It's so frustrating. Anyways. Yeah. So they're actually a Turkic band, I believe, from Siberia. And I'm playing world music. The worst genre to be into is world music because nobody it's so hard to convince people to be into it. That is, by the way, Fade. That is the best frog ever. Okay, let's see. Let's see your ghost. Let's see. Ooh, that's really cool. Oh, dang! All these are so cool. Book. If you're curious, that I shared that band in the music sub. You guys want to hear? Just sometimes I have to fight my desire to just play songs I like. Okay, we're gonna play one more song. Yeah, this is a little bit. This is a little bit of a different vibe. So you are 100% correct. That's pretty much what it is. That is a band from the nation of Georgia, the trio Mandriel. That is a band from the nation of Georgia, the trio Mandriel. And yes, it is. It is maybe I. It's a terrible name because world music because it's just basically any genre of music that is in a different language that can't be easy that is in a different language pretty much that isn't popular enough to be categorized correctly. Yes, yes, that's the trio Mandriel. I like them quite a bit. I listen to them when if you need to relax. I like listening to them. They're a very like cool band. Like they play what I understand to be quite traditional Georgian music. Yes. Uh, Notable people from the nation of Georgia. Uh, the one that sticks out the most is Stalin. Stalin is from Georgia, but also uh, uh, I've had pizza from Georgia. It's not really. It's not pizza, but you call it pizza because it's a cheese and bread dish from Georgia, and it is the most delicious thing you can ever have. And I'm so sad I can't find it here in Houston because I would love to have it again. Oh, do you know? That's cool. You know some people from Georgia. Uh, yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's not. It's simplistic and somewhat honestly a kind of it's a dumb term, but it's just like it's just music from other countries that well, more specifically, music in languages other than English for American term. But It is the term. I mean, I would categorize like the trio Mandriel as like maybe more folk musician, like folk music than anything. That's a folk musician's. Um, it's a breakup song. If I remember, I looked up the lyrics once. It's a breakup song. What I was playing. It's but even folk is probably too simplistic of a term. It's a better term, but it's probably too simplistic of a term. So, hey, tell me about these ghosts. Yeah, yes, I believe you did. There was definitely yeah. It's I mean, it's good that he's in. It's good that he highlighted those guys, but it definitely goes to show you. It's like it's so yeah. Yeah, there was that trend in England for with English musicians for a tiny bit of time. Well, musicians in general to do world music in like the I believe in the 80s. I mean, world music goes in and out of popularity. Stuff will get popular and stuff won't. Like the fact that K-pop is such a popular genre now is an interesting development for English speakers. Yeah, I mean it's periodically popular. Yeah. What am I thinking? There was like Brian Jones, the original founder of the Rolling Stones. His only solo album is and solo album is a technicality is really him producing a band from Africa that played traditional music, and that was popular. Like you could argue that like George Harrison's later career is quite influenced by world music. Okay, it seems to be have a little bit more of a thing in England than it does in the U.S. Okay, Orange Ghost Man. Okay, and I love Gorillaz so much. Okay, okay. You know, one thing I learned that really blew my mind. Uh, I like all these designs. I like the Banshee a lot. One thing I learned that really blew my mind. Uh, I don't know if people. I learned this a little while ago. Do you know that banshees are exclusive to families? Like that's part of the lore. That's part of the mythology. Is that every like notable Irish family had their own banshee that was supposed to be just for them. So if you were part of a prominent Irish family, you had a banshee. You had a banshee that only your family would see. Now, ooh, A, very good, very good. I was just about to say, it's like I say that I'm nervous now because I just saw that, like, I think in like a TikTok video, and I'm like, oh God, I hope that's true. I hope that's a real thing, and I'm not just speaking. Very good. We are using actual cultural history. Very good, A. One thing, not to go off too much, but I actually find, like, sometimes when people go, be right back. You're in a relationship now, eh? I don't expect you to put this. Anyway. Yeah. I love the Gorillas so much. It's Did you guys, by the way? Yeah. We must storm McDonald's then. By the way, I just learned about what the plans for the next World Cup is. Have you guys heard about this? And I am. It is so bizarre to me that this is happening. Not the 2026. It's, I believe, the 20. Okay, have you guys heard about what's happening with this? Because I just. Okay. The 2030 World Cup will be held in. Get ready for this. Morocco, Portugal, Spain. Okay, that kind of makes sense because those countries are all quite close to each other, and that makes a lot of sense that it would be held in those three countries. But that's not what's going on. It's not just those three countries. It's also being held in Argentina, Paraguay, and Uruguay. Now, have you noticed that those are on two separate continents and are 12 hours apart? Yes. See, it would make sense to hold a World Cup in Argentina, Paraguay, and Uruguay, or it would make sense to hold it in Morocco, Portugal, and Spain, two separate at the same time. Now, have you noticed that there might be a problem in that they are on two separate? They are in three separate continents, and several games may have to be played 12 hours. People might have to play a game, ride on a plane for 12 hours, and come back. Yes, yes, that's peculiar, isn't it? It feels like whoever gets, and it's not like, okay, you're thinking, okay, it's a little weird, but they're probably going to have, like, the qualifying rounds like in South America, and then they'll probably do, like, maybe the qualifying rounds in one continent, and then the like the finals in another. That would make sense. No, that's not what's going on. They're going to trade off games. So you're going to have to fly from one to the other to the other. That's what they're going to do. Very weird, isn't it? Isn't it? Isn't it strange that that's going on? Welcome back. Yeah. Chile, right? Yeah. Well, we're talking about corruption in sports. Well, okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We're talking about corruption in sports, eh? Now, are you curious? So, the coming World Cup is going to be held here in the. It's going to be held in Canada, America, and Mexico. And the idea for it is explicitly so we can do that. But the 2031 doesn't make sense. It's like, why hold it on two separate continents? It would make more sense for if you don't know the history. If you don't know the history of it, as I just watched, if you can tell, I clearly just watched a video about all this. If you don't know the history of it, the first World Cup ever was in Uruguay, and why they're justifying it, all this stupid stuff, is that Uruguay, it's the 100th anniversary of the World Cup, and they're like, well, we'll have it in Uruguay as like for historical value, and it's like, well, it still feels weird, huh? Well, would you believe that the World Cup after that, the 20, what is it, the 2034, the trend lately has been for multiple countries hosting cups, so that they don't get in situations like the night a few years ago where it bankrupted half the country. Now, would you believe? Uh, hmm, the 2034 though, they're not doing multiple country hosting. It's just Saudi Arabia. Huh. Huh. It's weird about that, isn't it? That it's just Saudi Arabia that's just hosting it. Now, Saudi Arabia is part of. I forget the actual name of it. It's part of the UEFA. It's part of the Asian Football League, and I forget what the actual title of it is. Now, there's a general rule about hosting World Cups that a once a federation hosts it one year, they have to wait. They have to wait at least a decade to host it. But the problem with that is that the Asia Cup, Asia Federation hosted it a few years ago in Qatar, which, as we all know, nobody had issues with how Qatar ran theirs, and there were no migrant workers who died in hundreds of in mass quantities. But so there's some chicanery here, everybody. There's some chicanery because of the way they're doing it, having these mass multiple country things where this year, this coming up one is going to be America, Canada, Mexico. That will knock America, Canada, Mexico out for a couple of years, and the next will have Africa, Europe, and South America, which will also knock them out. Well, that only leaves Asia, and so that means Saudi Arabia is going to have to host it. Saudi's going to kind of have to host it, unfortunately. They're the only ones left. And yeah, technically Qatar hosted it and they shouldn't be eligible, but it looks like we did it. We did it in the way this way, so we're just going to have to. Yeah. Oops. Yeah. Well, it kind of that's been the problem with these big sporting events for a while, is that they're costing countries lots of money that they don't have really. Like, the Brazil one was so wild to me because the Brazil hosted both the Olympics and the World Cup, and it's like the Brazil one, it's like aren't one of the stadiums used by essentially what's like a minor league team, like that only have like a couple of hundred people visiting, and it can like hold a capacity of several thousand. and it's for like essentially like a minor league soccer team. Anyways, yeah, but it's all fixed now. They're not doing that stuff anymore, right? Yes. No. From what I understand about the way Brazil is being run, they're not. It's everything's cool and fine, and nobody's mad. Nobody's mad about anything. Today specifically, no. I grew up in the Middle East. If you guys don't know, I actually grew up in Saudi Arabia. I don't know if I've said that. I don't know if I've said that before, but yeah, I grew up in Saudi Arabia. I was born there, actually. What's funny is, from all intents and purposes, he is better than the previous guy. Good time. But there are McDonald's in the Middle East. I've been to many. I mean, not like ethnically. I'm just a white guy, but I was born in the Middle East. My parents were working overseas when I was born. Like I don't have like Saudi citizenship or anything. But I did grow up there. It's so oh god, isn't it so great? Just sorry. Promise I won't get too. Not let me. I'll make this clear. Not particularly. Yeah. Not a particularly huge fan of our the current resident of the White House. Not a particularly huge fan of Mister Donald J. Trump. Yeah. Well, it's yeah. There. I mean, let's see. There's a specific. There's a specific name for the ethnicity that Arabs have. It's Arab people have. I forget what it's called. I mean, well, the Middle East is pretty diverse, but definitely where I was, it was much paler skin. There is paler skin than the further south you get. Yes. Um, I saw this Egyptian comedian. He was talking. He was really funny. He was really funny. He had a bit. I wish I could remember his name, but he had a bit where he was talking about. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Where he was talking about. He's just like people assume he's like mixed race and he's Egyptian, and he was talking about. He says like, yeah, I'm Egypt is in Africa, but theoretically Egypt's in Africa, but maybe I'm just a prototypical white, like I'm just a prototype white person. Like this is how the prototype white people existed, and I thought that was a very funny bit. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Well, anyways, it's a long discussion about. Uh, Needless to say, the Americas have probably a different concept. Yeah, he's the beta tested version of White People. I wish I could remember his name because it was a very funny bit. I laughed. Yeah, he's the beta version of White People. Egyptian comedian, beta tested white person. No, I can't find him. Oh well. Which I thought was a decent bit. Um, I saw him on TikTok. This was back when I was on TikTok, and I didn't hate it. I do now. People are always surprised. I don't know. Not surprised. I don't know. I don't like it. God, I'm getting tired. How long have I been on? 106 minutes. Oh boy. I always think when I do these things that I'm going to go on for like 4 or 5 hours, and then it's like 2 hours, and I'm like, I'm tired. I want to go to bed. But I am tired, and I do want to go to bed. Yeah. But I'm like, I want to talk to people. I'm good to see you guys as much. Especially now that it's summer and it seems that everybody has free time. Uh, oh, man, people are really hating on that one. I'm Lilo and Stitch was one of my favorites as a kid. Well, tell me your opinion on it. I feel bad because the guy who's directing that is I don't know. I hope you like it. I feel bad because the guy who's directing that really directed such a I don't know such a really nice film. Have AAA? Have you ever heard of Marcel the Shell with Shoes on? Yes. Oh, how do I wait? Marcel the is yeah Marcel the Shell. Marcel the Shell with shoes on. Yeah. Emote only. Let me. Okay, I'm gonna play the trailer because I want you to see the Marcel the Shell with shoes on. I believe turning it off is only 1 cent, guys. Or do I have a turn off? Oh, turn off emote chat. 101.
My name is Marcella. Oh no, that's not the first time I've done that. My name is Marcel, and I'm partially a shell, as you can see on my body, but I also have shoes and a face, so I like that about myself, and I like myself, and I have a lot of other great qualities as well. I know how it looks in here, but it's not always so messy, but I didn't know that you were going to have a camera, and I wish that you had said that you were going to be here today, because I didn't. I didn't clean up. I invited some friends from upstate to come eat salad, so that's just how it looks right now. Guess what I wear as a hat? A lentil. One time I nibbled on a piece of cheese and my cholesterol went up to 900. Guess what I use?
Well, I believe it's the same. The guy who directed. I believe it's Dean Fletcher Camp is the director. He's the director of that. Oh, that was such a cute movie. Yeah, it is directing the Lilo and Stitch remake. You know, you guys can turn it off at any moment. The emote only chat. Yeah. You guys can turn it off. It's only 700. There it is. Oh, still okay. It's just you and me. Eh? They're trapped in emote only chat until they decide to turn it off. Yeah. Did you see? You've seen the? I take it you've seen the original animated version, right? Of Lilo and Stitch. I know which one. It's the stop motion. I know of that movie. Did I see it? I've seen a lot of movies. It's the Australian stop motion one, right? It's about yeah, they both have autism. The characters. I have a Lilo and Stitch story. Um, I took a few classes from improv classes from the guy who played Plinkley, Kevin McDonald, the original voice of Plinkley. I've taken a few classes of his, improv classes of his. I have a picture with him somewhere. Have you seen the anime? One of us is going to have to concede this. I'm not going to be the one to concede it. One of you guys are going to have to turn off emote chat. I'm not going to be the one to concede it. Me and the YouTube people can just hang out and chat. You're the ones who've trapped yourself in this, not me. Yeah. It's Zach Galifianakis, I believe, is playing. You're the ones who. Oh, that's a bummer. That's a lot. You can't cross over like that. You're not allowed to. Robin, that's a lie. That's a. How dare you? All crossing over here to the YouTube channel. That's not allowed. That's a crime of the highest order. Crime of the highest order. None of you should do that. Oh no, what am I doing? I'm posting the link to the YouTube channel? If more of you come over here, I'm going to be so upset. Yeah. I believe everybody else, all the other. I'm not turning off emote only until one of you redeems it. I'm not turning it off. It's 701. It's 701 souls of the damned. You're gonna have one of you is gonna have to redeem it. This is the game This is the game we're playing. Do people? Likes and emojis? No. What? No, you can't do that. Crimes. Crimes. All of you are committing crimes. OC, who I also is Robin, if I remember correctly. That's Robin's alt account. You can't do this. You can't do this. Okay, now I have to turn it off. Hey, Mary. You guys got me to concede. Hey, Mary. 1 second. Emoted chat is on. 1 second. Let me turn it off. Thank you so much for the raid. 1 second. Darn it! I had to concede that. Thank you so much for the raid. I'll give you a shout out. How's it going? I didn't even see you were on. I would have stopped by. Everybody go follow Mary. Mary dropping lock and poppins. Darn, I hate when that happens. Oh, there you are. I didn't. I would have stopped by and said hi. Darn it. You got me to concede. Okay, Robin, you won this game. Did you get some writing done? Mary, Nice! Mary also looked over a project I'm working on gave me some notes on a project I'm working on. Oh, very cool, very cool. It's really odd. So what was the interview on? Oh, that's cool. Oh, nice, good. Oh, that's a fun that's a fun thing to do. Who would you say is like one of the more interesting people you've interviewed? By the way, Mary, I wanted to thank you publicly for looking over my thing. You didn't have to do that, but I really appreciate that. Those were some. I really appreciate that. You've just forgotten every person you've ever talked to. Of course. Right. Yes. Three of you. Thank you. Yeah. Robin is half the reason, half the internet. Very. Which Little Mermaid? Uh, I recently. Yes, you're half the internet with all your alt accounts. I recently read the Hans Christian Andersen. Oh, that's so cool! What? No, that rocks. Did you ask him? Did he finally figure out who the boss is? Oh, that's so cool. I believe you mentioned that to me, A, that you were doing that. Oh, that's so cool, A. Mary, if you haven't been here, A has been living life in turbo speed. They got a girlfriend. They got a girlfriend. They graduated. They graduated from high school. Yeah, of course it's ancient. Yeah, why do you even need to ask? Of course it's Angela. I was hoping you would pick up on that bit. I was hoping you would pick up on the reference I was doing. Yes, I remember that now. You told me. You told me that. How did that go? How did that go? I remember you were talking about that. Sorry. Ooh. Yeah, A has been on just a tear. A played Ursula in their high school production. They get a girlfriend and they graduated from high school. And now you're auditioning for Jekyll and Hyde? Nice, A. That's like, yeah. So, Mary, how goes the fiction writing? I know you're doing important things, but how goes the fiction writing? I feel that. Okay, you guys want to hear? Do you guys want to hear a bit of drama about my life? Uh, Mary Poppins. No, but how is that not? How's that not been a thing? How's Mary Poppins not been a thing? Okay, so this is an event that goes all the way back to high school. Not high school, college. This is an event that goes all the way back to college, but it has in some way continued up to the modern day. Mary, by the way, I am very much in that with my thing. Okay, so okay, in college, I went on two kind of dates with this girl. We had met in a creative writing class, and we had been texting a lot, and then I went on two kind of dates with this girl. It's hard to describe them as dates, but they were as close to being a date without calling them a date. Now, it's important to remember. It's one of the important things to remember in this story is that she is a very devout Muslim. I grew up in the Middle East. My best friend, my childhood best friend was Muslim, so that wasn't a big deal to me. But she's very devout, and she was kind of doing this in secret. Anyways, after we go on this kind of date, she sends me this Facebook message on how to do a Christian Muslim dual wedding. Now, I am a college kid at this moment. I'm not taking creative writing classes. I'm not really. I thought we were just kind of. We weren't totally. Yeah, anyway, that freaks me out. Freaks me out because I think she's taking this far too seriously. We were just kind of casually hanging and maybe dating. It's hard to decide. Anyways, so it's Christmas break. We both live in the same city. We live in Houston, but it's a big city. And I never told her, and I had gone to spend Christmas break with my parents. She shows up at my house, which was weird because the house is far in the suburbs. It takes 2 hours. It would take like 2 hours to get here, and I don't necessarily remember telling her my address. I may have, but I don't remember telling her it right off the bat. Anyways, she calls me, and we have these long conversations every day where we're sort of planning a way where she's talking about how we're going to get married, how this needs to happen, how this needs to happen. Again, everybody, this was like one sort of date. One sort of date. Yeah, no. And I so I have no idea what to do, and it gets to the point where I just give. One day I decide, Mom, can you please talk to her? I don't know what to say. Because I'm going to be honest, guys, if a little bit more of this went on, I think I might have married her because I would have felt too bad to say no. So I asked my mom to talk to her. So anyways, so my mom and her still talk and text to this day. That's how that story played out. They still are in they still communicate to this day, to the point that I have been helping her edit her story. Now, currently, this girl she's married to her husband. She's been married for a few years to her husband, and good. I'm in the clear from that. But it is funny that her and my mom have maintained a friendship up till today. So I just. Where did I mention that? Oh yeah, so. And so it's been I don't know why I mentioned that, but there was a point I wanted to mention that. So that's the story of my college girlfriend. She and my mom still talk to this day, and my mom went to her wedding. Yeah. That was That was one of the most. Yes. That was one of the most anxiety inducing experiences of my life with that. And I'm going to be honest, guys. I might have married her because of that. Because I just didn't know how to say it. I was not totally sure how to say no. I mean, to be fair, I tried to say no, but I tried to say no in like nice ways that obscured what was going on. I was like, well, I'm not really there right now. I'm not really ready to get married. Yes, there is a chance with like so. Well, the problem is, I don't know. She's so nice. The thing about her is like she's like she wouldn't hurt a soul, but she's also. I was like her first like kind of relationship she had that wasn't part of like arranged by her family, and I didn't want to be like mean, but I was like, this girl. But I'm just like I was not really in that. I was not really mentally ready to do that, and I was so anxious to say no. I just didn't know how to say no that I eventually had to have my mom say it for me. Yeah, yeah. It's why are people weird? I had a point for bringing up that story, but I don't remember what it was. But yeah, yeah. So I'm at. So I'm still kind of helping. I haven't talked to her in over a decade. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. That was part of the problem. That's why I was scared to like. I had trouble like really like saying, "Hey, mom, I'm just telling about that whole incident in college with our friend."
Chris.
No, no, that's a whole different thing. With the girl we help edit her stories at times.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go with Anne. I just don't want to say her name on stream. Did you talk to her today?
A little bit, yeah. She wants to know how you like the story.
I've told her like several times the writing has improved significantly since I've last read her. She's doing fine. Yeah, it's fine. I'll just do it. She's yes. They Mom, do you want to go on camera? Okay, that's fine. No, it's fine. No, she doesn't like getting on camera if she isn't ready to get on camera. Like she just doesn't want to. I've talked to her. I brought it up before, but it's yeah. Brought me a little dinner. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. I forget why I brought up that story. I had a point. Hey, whatever. It is. Mm-hmm. Oh right, yes. That's why. I think I was just going to say, well, you're as long as the experience that I have, as long as you beat my experience of my first girlfriend, I think you'll do fine. Because there's a lot worse ways this stuff can go. Anyway, just having some dinner. It's always awkward to eat on stream. But if you want to do longer streams, you kind of have to. If you want to do longer streams, you kind of have to. This is what I was working on. I was working on this drawing today. Thank you. I've had this image in my head for a while. This has no like home in a story yet, but I've had this image in my head for a while of it's a barbarian girl. Like it's a medieval barbarian girl, and she's listening to modern headphones at a campfire, and it's like I don't know what the story is exactly, other than I just have that image. I don't know what the story is exactly beyond that. It's just I have this idea of a sorry. It's just I've had this idea for a while of it's just a character. It's just that she it feels like a medieval setting, and then she somehow is listening to headphones and being somewhat confused, I imagine, by the sounds she's hearing. It's one of those like images that stick in your head for a while, but you don't have a place for. Hey, by the way, I wanted to ask you a question. Are you a fan of the show Ghosts? Because I was watching some of that, and I was thinking about your project, and I was like, yeah, could we do that? Is there a way to set that up? That would be fun. I figured. I was like, because I was watching that, I was thinking about that when I saw your thing. I was like, I bet A is a fan of Ghosts. Oh, I'll look into it. Probably not today, but because I do have my digital art pad. And we could easily do that. Yeah. The coding language? Are you talking about coding? Oh, yes. Yes. Sorry, for some reason I was like, yeah. Oh, yes. It's like, yeah. Oh, yes. For some reason, I was just like, I didn't know. It just slipped my mind. I was like, I didn't know A did coding because it was like, because that would make you like quite a triple threat. Music and dance. Yes, I haven't seen a lot of it. In fact, okay, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to throw this out there. Don't judge me. I've only seen clips from it. It looks like a funny show. I've only seen a few clips from it. I've only seen some clips from it. I'm sorry, but your story reminded me of the premise of the show. I'm sorry, but it did remind me, and I was correct. I'm sorry. It looks like a fun show. I know, I've done great crimes. Sometimes I say I've seen stuff when I've only seen some clips online. Yeah, it looks like something I'd enjoy. Part of the problem is I believe it's streaming on on Paramount Plus, and I would be like, I'd have to get Paramount Plus to watch it. I was like, who would want to do that? Nobody. For some reason, I'm really going hard against Paramount Plus. I don't, I don't know if they've done anything particularly bad, but that one for some reason irritates me the most. Partly because I wanted to recommend a show to somebody, and it's on Paramount Plus. It's not an original; it's just on Paramount Plus because it was an MTV show back in the day. And I tried to recommend it, and it's like, oh, it's on Paramount Plus. What are you talking about? Never. Amazon is good. We love Amazon over here on Twitch. Amazon is our friend, and Jeff Bezos is cool. His rocket looks cool and not anything else. I also think his big tough muscles look cool too. Jeff Bezos is the smartest and the best guy in the world. Beautiful burly arms. And his purchase of Twitch a couple of years ago was good. The fact that Twitch is under the Amazon family of shows is good. Amazon company is good. Praise be to him. Praise be to Jeff and all he it. If you don't know, we're also dual streaming over on Twitch. No! What? What? No! That's not allowed. Wait, do I have opinions about this? Do I have opinions about KFC going bankrupt? I guess not. But isn't KFC owned by Pepsi? Isn't KFC a Pepsi-owned thing? Unless people have stopped drinking tons and tons of Pepsi. Which is everybody's favorite drink, I'm assuming, right? Never marry. Let's see. Oh, God. Oh, yeah. No, that's better. That's mostly what I drink. As a proud Texan, Mary. As a proud Texan, Mary, of course I have to drink Dr. Pepper. I don't think it's allowed for you to not drink Dr. Pepper. It's the great state of Texas's favorite drink. Oh. Huh. Let's see. You know, there's a bunch of ways I could theoretically split up. I mean, it's probably... So what I'm doing is I'm just... I'm just flipping the image. I'm just flipping the image on my phone. Oh, this is always the worst process because you always see the flaws. Okay. The arm has an issue. The nose has an issue. The eye has an issue. Why things hard, Why things hard? Can't stop, won't stop. I'm tired. I don't have the energy to fix this. Welcome back, Fade. Welcome back. Invented in the great state of Texas, by the way. We Texan, the world, invented in the great state of Texas, in Dublin, Texas. Used to be. Triple A, Fade, I weep for you. You're young. You did not get to experience the greatness that was Dublin Dr. Pepper. See, the original factory that originally produced Dr. Pepper is in the town of Dublin, Texas. Yeah, but this is Dublin, Texas, Fade. Now, you can buy them almost anywhere here in Texas, and they came in these small little glass bottles, and they were called Dublin Dr. Pepper. Now the thing with Dublin Dr. Pepper is it was much higher quality than the type of Dr. Pepper you get, and one of the things it did is it used real authentic cane sugar as opposed to corn syrup. That meant the Dublin Dr. Pepper tasted sweeter and better. And because of the way it all worked out, licensing, and part of what was so nice about Dublin Dr. Pepper, was that it actually was an independent brand. See, the Dublin Soda Factory maintained the rights to produce Dr. Pepper using their formula, their original recipe independent of. I believe it was mostly independent of the Pepsi Corporation. And then Pepsi took that all away from them. Those bastards. And see, Dublin still makes fire soda. They're an independent. They're still out there. They're still an independent soda brand that makes delicious independent soda. Some of the best you'll ever see in. Yeah. But that has been lost to history, unfortunately, Fade. Before you young people's time, it has been lost to the annals of history. Because of those bastards at Pepsi. But if you ever encounter Dublin, the Dublin Soda Company out in the wild, I suggest you get it. It's much higher quality soda. It's much higher quality soda than you'll find in most places. Yeah, I find Pepsi to be quite weak in taste. Lately, my favorite mainstream soda has been Big Red. I've recently come around to the fact that cream sodas are awesome, and I love them. And Big Red is my favorite. Yeah. Oh, Iron Brew! Oh my god, that's my other favorite. Have you had Iron Beer? Have you had Iron Beer? Iron Beer is a Cuban. Iron Beer is a Cuban soda. No, you guys gotta try Iron. You guys gotta try Iron Beer. Despite its name, it actually doesn't have any beer. It's non-alcoholic. May have been alcoholic at some point. Iron Beer. It is a Cuban. It is a Cuban soda with a slight spiciness to it. You know, some people argue when I say it's spicy. It has it has a bit of a kick to it. It is. It's going to fade. It's not spicy. It just has a little bit of a kick to it. That's different. It's so good though. You guys don't even know. You guys gotta try it. And there's also but it's so good, Fade. It's so good. It's not spicy. Maybe isn't the right word, but it has a kick to it that it tastes so different. It's like it's so good. It's so good. Ah, man. I want to travel the country showing people iron. It's good though. Yeah. There's also chair wine. If you've ever had chair wine. I don't know if you've ever had chair wine. That's a very southern soda that pops up. You'll see. That's very tasty too. And of course, if you're a little bit south, you'll notice that there. How dare you? You're not allowed to say that. No. I've also had maple syrup soda once. I thought that was going to be better than it was, maple syrup soda. I was so excited to have it. And then I had it and oh man, that thing is like death. It was so it's far too sweet. Yeah. There used to be a soda shop. There used to be this candy shop where I lived. No, I mean if you don't, no, I'm kidding. Of course, Fade. If you don't like it, you don't like it. That's fine. Um, it's too sweet though. It's pretty much just carbon. It was pretty much just carbonated. Uh, it's just pretty much carbonated syrup, and I'm like, I like that. That sounded like it would be fun. It was not. The the soda store I live, this candy store I lived next to for a while that also had soda. It also had a line of dictator themed sodas, so it had like Kim Jong Il, Muammar Gaddafi, and stuff like that. That was pretty surreal to see. Honestly, that candy store closed down eventually, and there was a part of me. There was a part of me that was very glad it closed down because I think if that store had stayed open, I think I would have been like 300 pounds. Yes, they did have stolen soda. I think it was cherry. I think it was cherry red. It was cherry. Um, the Kim Jong Il, I remember being lemon flavored. Yes, it was. It was a good. I mean, it was a good. It was cool. It was cool, but I think I would be dead now if that store was still open. So I'm not exactly sad. It's gone. It was a hard thing. It was a hard thing to say no to a candy store right next to your apartment. I shall try it. I mean, I can try it now. I mean, I live in the South. I live in Texas. It probably wouldn't be that hard for me to find Tennessee and stuff. But if you guys ever see any Dublin produced sodas, you should have it. Mainly in so that we may forever mourn that a honest soda company was screwed over by big evil Pepsi. Okay, it's really great seeing you. Good luck on your audition. One day I'm gonna have a few of you guys look over a thing I've written. I'm curious what this thing I'm writing. 'Cause I'm curious what you guys would think of it. I'm curious what. Okay, this is a totally random question, but I'm curious people's thoughts. Okay. Yeah, go ahead. I mean, if you want, you can post them in the Discord, I guess. I don't know what it. But anyways, um, what are you? Do you guys have a favorite Greek myth? I asked this for a few reasons. One, I like Greek myths, and I'm just always curious about it. Two, it's from my understanding that Greek myth retellings are now very popular in the literary world, and I am curious what people's favorites are. Sisyphus. Damn it! That's always such a hard one to say. Yes, I like Sisyphus. Yes, the Camus essay particularly is really great. That's such a great essay that recontextualizes Sisyphus in such a beautiful way. Yeah. Yeah, that's the one that's very popular now. What about nowadays, Mary? I'm curious your thoughts on this. So it's from my understanding. I mean, the Persephone myth has always been popular, although. Yeah. Well, yes, I know, but it see, but I feel as a genre is dying. That's my perfect opportunity to come in and really mess with it. As a genre is dying, that's always a good opportunity to come in and mess with stuff. Faye, not to toot my own horn about something, but in the book I'm in my book that in my main project book that I'm writing, there is a in-universe version of the myth of Sisyphus. I change it significantly to be about orcs, but it's very much it's very much the myth of Sisyphus, and the characters come to a very similar conclusion that Camus came to. Yeah. Uh, yeah. I mean, I love mythology, and I want to do. I'm up for doing like a rework of mythology. Have you ever, Mary? Mary, have you ever seen Hadestown? By the way, if people, by the way, anybody here who has not seen Hadestown yet, go listen to the soundtrack now. It is beautiful. It is one of the great soundtrack. It is one of the great musical soundtracks of all time. I listen to that frequently. Yes, you have good taste. Fade, have you ever heard of Hadestown? That is such a beautiful musical. It really is. I have seen it on Broadway once. One, the Orpheus and Eurydice myth is just, I think, is one. Yes. So I've been thinking. So one thing I've been really interested in Greek myth is one thing I'm really fascinated by Greek myth is how many of the myths actually relate to each other. Like, if you really look into the myths, like half of the myths all relate to each other, are all part of really a bigger narrative. Like, which I always find strange because it's like, okay, so like you guys like. Ooh, oh, that's amazing. Let me show. I'm just going to show you a little clip from it that I like. Okay. Okay, this is one of the songs, and you know, if you watch this stream back, this segment won't appear anymore because I'll edit it out. But oh, that's so cool. Yeah, let me find the chant. If you want to hear what she's talking about, listen to this. I don't want to play too much because one, you should just go listen to it until it's a 6-minute song. But yeah, it's a beautiful musical. Yes, I always think it's so funny. Mary, you probably know this exactly. Isn't the guy who plays Orpheus? Wasn't he Spider-Man originally? The original Spider-Man in the musical? In the Spider-Man musical? I always think that's the funniest like thing to go from like that. Yeah. Oh, that's great. I always think that's so funny. It's like he was. Yes, he went from Spider-Man, the one of the greatest flops in Broadway history, to Hadestown. Really? Oh man, so many. Yeah, it's work. Just goes to show you, you're one roll away. You're one roll away. I feel uncomfortable about playing other people. I feel uncomfortable about playing. other people's videos on here, but if you're curious, what the Fade? What is this? What's going on? What is this? Okay. This guy. Okay, please tell me this guy isn't texting you, right? It's just like a picture. Please tell me that this guy is just that's just like a picture they found that they thought was funny. Okay. Oh, jeez, Louise. Because combined with that message, that is who? What? Okay. Sometimes. Okay. Sometimes the things you tell me about band kids, Fade, makes me worried for you. I must be honest. It does make me worry for you. Yeah, they sound like retrobates and monsters. Okay. Anyways. Okay, good. Do you guys want to hear a little bit of my story? Okay. I've got a few things. I've written a few things. Which one would you want to hear? Do you want to hear? Um, Partly, it's good to have people here because I can get kind of real time feedback on stuff. Do you want to? Do you want to the orc wrestler? I've got I've got a story. I've got a story I'm working on called the Spider Queen of Venice. Venus. I keep calling it Venice. It's Venus. The Spider Queen of Venus. I've got the Three Sisters, which is a short story I wrote, and then I've got a kind of an urban fantasy paranormal comedy. Which one would you? Well, okay, so the Spider, it's Spider Queen of Venus. It's not really about a Spider Queen of. Um, the This is the one Mary read. I mean, they're all comedies, pretty much. Which one would you want? They're all comedies. There's Luna. I mean, they're all. There's Luna, which is my main one, which is about Luna, and we could, or the young adult. It's sort of. I'm kind of trying to write a young adult thing. I don't usually write that sort of stuff, but I'm trying to a little bit more. I'm trying. This is one sort of thing. Okay. Which one do you want to read? Do you want to read urban fantasy or wrestling fantasy? Either or. Okay, let's read the urban fantasy. I've never read this one out loud before. Okay, one second. Let me find it. Yep. I also have a screenplay I wrote that I'd be curious people's thoughts on at some point on the line. But where is it? Sorry, I just saw it a second ago. Now I'm irritated. Oh, there it is. Okay. So I'm kind of okay. You'll see. Johnson was late. He ran at the speed of an Olympic sprinter through the Italian restaurant. He had to get to the elevator in the back as soon as possible. He was always late to the 3 a.m. meetings, which the deputy director was so fond of. It didn't help that these were the meetings hidden. Sorry. It didn't help that these were the meetings hidden by a front of the CIA. And the CIA only did that for very special occasions. And this was a very special. Okay, one second. Okay. Johnson placed his hand on the door handle of the old broken refrigerator, and the fridge swung open to reveal its secret interior, a shiny silver elevator. It was a test of faith for an agent to ride down in the box. Sorry. It was a test of faith for any agent to ride down in this box monstrosity, and Johnson knew it better than most. But he wasn't getting paid to eat Italian food. It always felt like a typical elevator ride at first, the type of ride normal people would spend listening to podcasts. Then there was a switch, often subtle, but the temperature would drop slowly at first, then sharply, as if entering the sixth circle of hell. The temperature would drop 20 degrees below freezing. But the real thing the agents hated was the noise the old elevator made. It shook and creaked violently with each step down until it finally hit with a loud thud and dropped off its human cargo. The elevator opened into a small conference room where the current deputy director of the CIA was presenting. Information that could only be safely printed on slides because slides can't be hacked. It was safe. What's going on here? Okay. Thompson, the deputy director, was a big barrel-chested man. He had gone bald and silver at the age of 20, and Johnson had never seen him in natural light. He was the type of CIA agent who grows out of the walls, fully formed in a suit. Johnson suspected that when the rest of the agents in the division left for the day, Deputy Director Thompson would just open up a bit of ceiling and sleep in it. "You're late," he said. Johnson gave an exaggerated slug, sat down, pulled out his notebook, and quickly wrote down the current slide he saw. Brown-haired man with large Coke spectacles and a lightning-shaped scar across his forehead. "Moving on from the very dead subject 472, Deputy Director Thompson said. God, he was late. They always talk about Subject 472, one of the many chosen ones the CIA keeps track of. This division, established in the 1960s by President Kennedy, was designed to ensure that the U.S. government was always aware of potential threats working in the world, potential mystical threats working in the world. And for the past 50 years, they have monitored, tracked, and occasionally assisted and hindered chosen ones in their destiny. This is subject 482. He was a young man with snow-white hair standing beside a burning mansion. He's newer, but standard story. He was born under an auspicious sign, and on his 16th birthday he inherited a suite of powers, including seeing the dead and operating a variety of magical objects. The mystics defined him as
a wizard, and he was destined to defeat a Hell Lord from the other side. Well, did he? Said Johnson. Well, of course, we're still here, aren't we? Said Thompson. Well, who did he defeat? Looking through the files, it seemed to be Altera, the Eater of Worlds. Thompson clicked the clicker and showed a well-dressed man in a long black suit. Oh, he's one of the Drake's kids, right? Said Johnson. Ooh, said the gathered agents. Yeah, seems he lost most of his support in the effort, though. Johnson wrote on his notepad that the subject's family was dead. We've been tracking him down for the past year and located him working out of a McDonald's in Echo, California. But it seemed he's mostly gone MIA. We know he's gone under an assumed name, Flynn Hitchcock. The agent snickered at that name. Okay, calm down. He's an 18-year-old kid who picked his own name. Chapter 2. The Ghost of the Red Owl. It was about 3 in the morning. Flynn was as close to a tired zombie as a living boy could be. He had made his way to the old Red Owl on Main Street. The Red Owl was a grocery store. Small, outdated, and in disrepair. The only people who still browse their discount selection of dented cans did under dimly lit under flickering LED lights were a lot like him, desperate losers. It made him nervous that there weren't any pictures of cows on these milk cartons, just bold text on a white background saying milk. He tried to smell it. It seemed okay, so he put one in his basket and hoped it would not poison him. The lights violently flickered on and off the second he put it in his basket, and standing next to him was a young man, about 20 years old, smiling broadly. He had clean combed hair that was topped with a soda jerk hat and wore a primarily clean white apron. This is Jack. Whenever Flynn shopped at the Red Owl, he would see Jack. He looked like an everyday He looked like an everyday soda jerk still working here at the Red Owl. If it weren't for the big bloody gash in the middle of his chest, you could swear he was still alive. Oh gosh, pal. It's good to see you again. It's just so darn unfair. It's just so gosh darn unfair. Oh gosh. Is this about Susie? Said Flynn. Oh gosh, don't you know it? She was the swellest girl in the world. I was going to ask her out. I was working up the courage. I had saved up my entire week's pay so I could take her to the latest Tab Hunter movie. Girls like Tab Hunter. And I thought she was going to enjoy it too, and it was going to be so swell. It's just so unfair. Some big galoot comes in and ruins that for me. I know, Jack. It's heartbreaking. And now I bet she's going to see that hotshot tennis stud, Michael Davenport. You don't think she likes him, do you? Well, Jack, they have been married for 50 years. Yeah, but you don't think that's serious, right? I think yes. Jack flew into a violent ghost rage, cursing the lights in the grocery store to blink in and out of existence. Jack, every time we talk, you vanish before we can get anywhere. You're not going to do that again today, right? No, Jack said, taking a deep breath. Flynn looked back at where Jack had been, but once again, he was alone in the Red Owl. Chapter 3. Yeah, so I don't know if this is clear, but Jack was killed in a robbery 50 years ago, and he's just been hanging around the Red Owl. Yeah, maybe I should explain that. But I don't know. Is that obvious? Is that obvious? Yeah. Okay. Flynn had parked his van at the beach a week ago. The van belonged to his uncle back in the 80s. when he was a roadie for a progressive rock band, but it had fallen to Flynn since his uncle wasn't around anymore. It had an airbrush picture of a wizard on the side. Flynn had got a ton of compliments on it, but the wizard had always made him nervous. He swore the eyes followed him wherever he went. He named the wizard George. It felt like a good name for a wizard, not that it mattered. Looking into the big blue eyes, Flynn realized he had gone mad. He needed a minute away from his life. He had always liked the beach. That's why he was living here. He wondered, am I living here? Sure, he said. He just missed home. No matter how many days one spends there in a van, a van is not a home. He wanted to return to a home with actual people, not George. He wanted, like, human beings with bones and skin. He could spend the rest of his life, his bones and skin. He couldn't spend the rest of his life barely getting by. What was he going to do? He hadn't finished high school. Homework was hardly a priority when trying to save the world. He was running low on money. He could... The beach was nice. With good air, the seagulls squawking eventually turned into a delightful white noise that would help him drift off to sleep. It would have, if he didn't have that appointment later today. He couldn't miss. Just focus on the horizon. Loud, blasting EDM music shot out across his peaceful beach, and in the distance, he could see a gaggle of young people dancing around a fire. He never did that when he was in high school. He was too busy trying to save the world, but it would have been nice. Yes, George has feelings too. Chapter 4. Nixon Nash had been holding her beer all night. She had taken 1 or 2 sips, which tasted so great that she didn't need to drink anymore. She was super used to beer, and she was cool with it, and nobody was looking at her anymore, so she quickly dumped most of the beer on the sand. High school had been over for 3 weeks, so what was she doing at a high school party? As a cool adult of 19 years old, she should be doing important adult things, like... She lost her train of thought and quickly picked up her beer and started drinking it again. Nope. It was still bad. She had only been 19 for about a month and wasn't doing the best. She was in many ways still acting like a dumb 18-year-old. That's why she had come to the beach party. I'm going to walk, she told Jennifer. Oh, okay, Jennifer said, as she clutched onto Nixon's leg. Right. Jennifer was the reason she was here. They were both dorks, although Nixon did think fencing was cool. Jennifer had insisted that Nixon come to the party. She was the only person who could make her come to a party. I mean, you can come too, said Nixon. Then the earth shattered, and what was left was a new and terrifying world. Jennifer saw him emerge from the water, chiseled and cut like a Greek god. Nixon didn't recognize him, but he was tall and athletic. His hair was a sharp blonde, his eyes a luminous blue, and they were transfixed on Jennifer. Nixon immediately felt Jennifer's grasp loosen as he came over towards them. Hey, the Greek god didn't say much, but he said it in such a cool and disaffected way that it immediately sold him to Jennifer, who let go of Nixon's leg and made a beeline for him. Nixon, then, ever so gently, made her way across the beach. It's not good tasting. It's bad. People only drink it for the side effect. Fade. I can tell you that for certain. People only really like it for the side effect. What was the point of tonight, she thought. She wanted to hang out with Jennifer, but she had more important things to deal with. She glanced at the bonfire and saw Jennifer and the boy with arms around each other. Good for her. Jennifer had spent all of high school being too shy to talk to anybody besides Nixon. But they were adults now, ready to enter the big scary world, and it was good that they were both starting to lead more independent lives. With college coming up, they probably would never see each other again. This was so heavy that Nixon had to sit down on the beach. She briefly touched her toes in the water. Every time she did, there was a tiny part of her that was certain a shark would eat her toes right at that moment. It hadn't ever happened yet, but it could someday, and she was determined to ever be vigilant for that eventuality. Her world could be completely normal. Then, in an instant, something strange and weird would happen, and it could change forever. She closed her eyes to get comfortable for just a second. Hello. Oh no, sorry. Hello! She didn't recognize the voice, but opened one eye a little bit. A well-dressed skeleton man was staring right at her. Nixon screamed. The skeleton man was more confused than anything and looked around, seemingly trying to figure out what she was screaming about. I'm here about the wizard, he said. Hi, sorry, that's me, said Flynn. Argonius the skeleton man threw his purple argyle scarf over his shoulder and straightened his wide-brimmed fedora to show how indignant he was. I expect to be treated as well as any dapper skeleton man would. I'm about to go on a night on the town, and I am told you're the man I should talk to about this, he said to Flynn. Flynn looked at Nixon, who was freaked out and held out a single finger. He tried as hard as he could without using words to tell her, just please give him a second. And finally he said, please, I can explain everything. Although she still looked freaked out, he could tell she was at least willing to hear him out. Sir, my friends are eagerly waiting for me. We're part of a book group. We're reading Les Mis, and none of us have read the book, but we drink wine like the Dickens. His soulless, cold eyes looked over to Nixon, expecting her to laugh at that joke. Hey, Tato, we're reading some stuff. I'm reading some stuff I've wrote. If you're curious what this is. Flynn ran to his van. It was a huddled mass of chaos and degradation, but he knew somewhere deeply lodged in was the exact thing that Argonius the skeleton man needed. He found it lying under a book, a small black dynamo mask. He immediately ran and gave it to Argonius. My goodness, what a genius idea! They'll think I'm just some random skeleton, and I'm not specifically Argonius, the dapper skeleton man. You are worth your weight in gold, good sir. Worth your weight in gold, he said, putting it on. Initially, putting it on, instantaneously, he was transformed before any normal mortal's eyes from a dapper skeleton man into a normal, dapper human being. Although, when wearing a dynamo mask, it actually creates the illusion you're a person, said Flynn. Ah! Even better! The now elegant skeleton grabbed its elegant walking stick, placed it under its arm, and began its journey into the city. Flynn watched the man walk into the distance before he turned to the very confused and scared Nixon. Hey, he said, so you're like a wizard? I prefer the term warlock. It has the word war and lock in it, and I think that makes it cooler, Flynn said. Chapter 6. Nixon looked at Flynn anyways. So, I have more stuff, but what do you guys think? This first 6 chapters of a little project I'm working on. Yes. Flynn might be a tiny bit of a dork. Thank you, yeah. I have one more chapter, and then there's notes. Nixon looked at Flynn incredulously. Maybe it was the jean jacket or the white hair or the fact that magic wasn't real and there's no way it could be real. As he was talking, she had colluded the most logical thing in the world. She had been slipped LSD, and she assumed she was getting her knowledge of LSD from movies. I don't believe you, said Nixon. That's very logical. If I were in your position, I wouldn't believe me either. Prove it, said Nixon. What do you want me to do? Can you make a fireball? Flynn scoured through his van. I present to you fire! He pulled out his lighter. lighter and lit it. Okay. You're funny, said Nixon. Flynn had a smug look on his face. I don't have, like, special powers. There's no, like, I'm not born with anything. It's more of a family craft. It still sounds like nonsense. It does, but like this lighter, Verkena imiko, he said, and the lighter, which had been a small flame, burst open into a giant flame and turned into a fiery eagle. In that very moment, Nixon's world was shattered. Nixon's world shattered and shifted. The fragile shell that was the normal world cracked under her. It was one of the most significant moments in her life. She knew it. The weight of history was crushing her. Can I try it? She said. Yeah, Flynn. Yeah. Flynn tossed her the lighter. What were the words again? Vekera Miko, Flynn said. The lighter immediately went off her hand. And a second glorious flame bird scoured the sky. She felt the weight of the lighter in her hands, a flimsy plastic thing that she could crush easily. As her fingers scoured, she felt for a small ruin carved into it. Vekena Miko, she said. The eagle immediately burst out in the sky. Anyways, so that's the first 6 chapters of this little book, this thing I've been working on. This is not my main project, but I have other ones. There's more stuff that happens, but it's more notes. Like they meet L.A. Dracula, who's Dracula's son, who's based in L.A. So what do you think, Fate? Do you have any thoughts? I'm curious. Sure, thanks. I'm curious what you think. If you want to know what happens, Jennifer is going to get abducted, and the two of them have to find her. Okay, good. I'm glad. Character, you got like the character. Yeah, that's good. I'm kind of aiming this for. There's a. No worries. I mean, I can. If you want, I can link you the stuff. Mary, if you're still here, Mary looked over that one and gave me some notes on it, and I haven't yet to totally work your notes in. I've done some stuff, but I need to do more. No worries. So Tato, how are things going? You guys want to hear a later chapter? I think my voice is a little tired, though, honestly. Oh, yeah, it's not midnight for me yet. It's still not. Yeah. Yeah, so that's Flynn and Nixon. Although I've gotten some pushback on the name Nixon, I might not go with Nixon as the name. Some notes said that they didn't particularly. Nixon reminded them too much of a certain person, and I'm like, yeah, maybe I won't go with that one. I have there's a slightly bit more of backstory to this story than I'm letting on, but yeah. Wonderful. How is the business how is the business world, Tato? Are you girl bossing up and down the street? Are you girl boss? If you guys haven't heard, Tato has started her own business. You're selling wallpapers, right? Like for phones. Oh, now that it's summer, I try and every summer I try and stream. Every time it's summer, I try and stream more. Here's a trick: if people are curious, let me throw something out to people. If you ever want to do online stuff, your numbers always go up a lot during the summer. So if you ever want to do so, it's always yeah. So if you're ever thinking of starting an online thing, try in the summer. People have a lot more free time, and there's school is out, so that means a lot more people are online. So Fade, you're the one who heard most of it. If you were to encounter this in a free online website sort of situation, would you keep reading it? Not at all hinting at what my future plans are, but if I have more energy in a minute, I might. Okay, that's good. Any thoughts on the characters? What are your thoughts on the characters? I'm curious your thoughts. Go, throw it away. Okay. I mean, I might release it as an audiobook free on my channel at some point, but just okay. Write to public. Okay, young people, write to publishing houses no, and say that you're desperate to get that published. So there's a little bit of backstory with this, but it's probably not something I can repeat on here. It's nothing too bad. It's nothing bad, but it's okay. Sorry, it's very. I feel like I always feel a little narcissistic when I'm like asking people these questions because it's like, do you like it? Do you like it? No, you like it, right, guys? You like it. This is good. I swear, like being a creative is the single most insecure thing in the world. Like anybody who is a creative, who is pursuing a creative thing, know underneath fundamentally they are super insecure about everything. Their whole goal is to get thousands of people, thousands of strangers all over the world to like them as much as possible. Welcome back. This is Tato's business account. No, it's just I'm probing you for questions because I want to know
your thoughts on stuff. Because it's good. It's good to get your thoughts. Because it's like I'm sort of I'm targeting younger people with this story. I don't know if you can tell. I am targeting younger people with this story a tiny bit. I don't go into like long speeches about. Well, would you guys want to hear? Would you guys want me to read from my main project? It's appropriate. It's appropriate. There's nothing really that bad. I don't know. I don't know. I guess I just feel like reading. I'm curious what people here think. And you know what? I've worked hard on this, and I kind of want people. To start hearing it. Do you guys want to hear a little bit from my main project? I got it right here. Okay, this one's longer. The Flynn stuff is shorter. That's why it's a little easier to read. This one is a much longer project. So I don't know how much I can read of it, but okay. She had done this. I just noticed something that I want to change. 1 second. Why is it so specific? I don't know why it's so specific. Okay. She had done this hundreds of times before, but the eyes bothered her. It couldn't be alive, could it? No, the spike had crashed through its brain. Still, all the same, she closed the deer's eyes. Luna didn't know if deer had gods or if they had rituals for burial. She muttered a short prayer to unknown. She muttered a short prayer to the unknown deer gods for safety on its path to join fellow deer in paradise. She then got to skinning it. Yeah, I'll skip this little section. It's one sort of okay. Warning if a trigger warning if like gore and stuff is a problem. I can skip this section if you want, but how do people feel on that? I can skip this section if you want. It's not super important. Okay. I asked. She then got to skinning it. The first time she had skinned an animal, a memory that had dug a thick groove in her brain, she had nearly collapsed, seeing the deer's skinless body kick. "Carmack, it's alive," she said, trying to pull the knife out of his hand. Dead-eyed, Carmack said, "It's instinct." "It's an instinct. Its soul is already running with the great herd of the underworld. Now focus." She still cried as Carmack instructed her piece by piece on how to do it. Now she had the steady hand of a lifelong veteran. She barely reacted as the blood cooled on the snow, half blinding her with the steam. She unstrapped her barrel from her back, packed the deer up with salt, and plucked the butchered meat. packed the barrel with salt and plucked the butchered meat into it to preserve it for several days. She restrapped the barrel around her back and began the trek home. It was never an easy trek, as Shadow Dune Mountains are so vast and long it's hard to notice their elevation change. The mountains would feel flat for days of walking, then cunningly switch to a sharp drop of hundreds of feet. The beasts and the monsters that roam must also be clever and sneaky. She learned, as all orcs did, to hide themselves in plain view. But particularly cleverer orcs knew to hide traps. That's what Luna did, hide spikes deep beneath the snow so that no deer could see it. They would spring in a second and the spike would drive through their brain. It was surprisingly a peaceful way to go, quick and painless. The deer would feel one moment alive, the next dead. On a practical level, there is no difference between dying in your sleep or from having a spike rammed in the brain. Luna hoped, at least. The snow crushed as she walked. The weather was getting worse and the snowfall
was thicker and more intense. The wind took small bites from her as she trudged across the mountaintop. Luna could always feel it on her lips first, the freezing temperature that made her lips as craggy as the mountains. She would bite on them, a habit she would keep for the rest of her life. The sky darkened as a drizzle of snow turned into a blinding blizzard. She kept stern as she walked, yet her hand was on her butcher's knife. Many monsters in the shadows used these blizzards to attack. Ghost bears in particular moved with the wind. The real danger, though, was the raiders who hid in the mountains. Luna stood tall, hoping to make herself look as big as possible, because in the distance she saw a shadow. It was hard to make out, slowly stalking towards her, closer and closer, and for a second she took her eyes off of it, and it vanished. She took her knife out and prayed, "Please be a moving rock." "Hello?" The mild and genial hello panicked Luna. To be fair, it was bizarre. She tripped as the figure came clearer into view. It was the shaggy white hair that Luna first noticed. It gave the young lady an extra inch or two, but she still barely reached Luna's chest. She had what Luna thought was she had a lute around her back. "Hello! The name is Miriam Silverfoot," she said, extending her hand. Luna had read about this. Humans did this as a greeting. The point, she believed, was to crush the hand as hard as possible. But Miriam was delicate, and Luna would break her hand if not careful. Luna never knew why she gave her nickname, when those were for the clan alone. "Well, swell to meet you, Luna." She had a halting way of speaking, full of starts and stops. Well, swell to meet you, Luna. She had a halting way of speaking, full of starts and stops, that made it feel as she was always asking questions. It made even Luna doubt herself for a minute. "Fine to meet you, Mrs. Silverfoot." The starting and stopping. "Mrs. Silverfoot. Tell me, Luna, are all Northern Clan orcs as nice as you are?" Luna slipped into a sly smile, let out a quiet, long-drawn "No." She was a Northern Clan orc, and to be fair to Miss Silverfoot, her ignorance was excusable. The Northern Clan orc isolated itself to this mountain. It's not as if she had had a chance to talk to them in the man's kingdom. "Miss Luna, I would be forever grateful if I could hire you to guide me to your village." "Why would anyone want to go there?" "I'm glad you asked. I represent Ardric Silverfoot's traveling showcase spectacular of..." This is where she trailed off and spent some time staring at her feet. "Of?" Luna said. What hit Luna was a rush of words tumbling out of Miriam's mouth as she tried to get through them lightning fast. "Stars and authentic messages, and we invite you to our clan. We invite you to our clan, the grandest show. Your clan to the grandest show on the 9 continents," she said, staring at her feet as she took out her lute and strummed it a bit. Luna immediately grabbed the lute's neck. "I can tell you now that they won't like that," said Luna. "We have many songs. If you like, I've recently mastered a song in Orcish called King Draco's Triumph," said Miriam. Luna said in a sharp, almost maternal fear for the girl. No. The tendons in her neck teased so hard they nearly erupted out of her skin. Draco, or, in the orc tongue, the boar dragon, was an old and well-remembered king of the homeland. Do you know who the boar dragon was triumphant over?" said Luna. "His villainous and monstrous brother, the evil Ebertolf," said Miriam, proud of herself. In the ancestral tongue, Ebertolf was the boar wolf. Our clan fought on the boar wolf side? The one who you're calling a villainous and monstrous brother?" Luna said. The girl turned a bright shade of red as the two walked together in silence. Miriam adjusted her lute and picked at it. "I do apologize for my failure. I can change it so that your man is betrayed by his vile brother. It could be a proper tragedy." A smile crept on her face as she plucked the strings and hummed. Luna waved it off. Do not worry yourself. No matter what, the Northern Clan will never want to go to a spectacular. Even saying the word right now, she let out a little chuckle, is considered too much. A shame, the girl frowned, but in a second her attitude picked up. Nothing is stopping you from coming. Luna wanted to correct her. She wanted to say that she had important work and didn't have much time for a frivolous show. It will be next week at the miners' camp. Of course, they would be at the miners' camp. The mountains had mostly been a place for orcs and raiders, but a few years ago, dwarves of outsiders had come from the man's kingdom. Apparently, there is something valuable in the ground of the mountains. The worldly men mountains. Shadow Dew Mountain is a dangerous place to live, and it can be fatal for visitors. Nothing can grow here. The monsters calling the mountains home. Thank you. The monsters calling the mountains home feed on each other, and one of the most dangerous had slipped past Luna. She realized she had been stupid and said to herself under her breath, never pause. Never let your guard down for a moment, because in any second they come. It slithered at a breakneck speed past her. The second Luna saw it, the monster darted for Miriam, who was a foot away. Her back turned as the monster came out at her. The ice serpent is almost 30 feet tall. Its 4-foot-long saber-like fangs paralyze its prey in a second. Then the prey is swallowed, and then with its speed and its camouflage, the ice serpent disappears. Luna had to be quick. She grabbed the neck of the serpent and pulled it down on the ground. The sheer force of the pull snapped the serpent's neck. Miriam turned her head around, her body and face frozen in fear. Wait, right there, Luna said. Taking out her knife, she sliced into the snake. It bled its acidic black blood on the ground. She waited for it to cool off a bit before she said, "It's going to burn a bit." She took a bit of the now cool blood and rubbed it on Miriam's head. The peaky tips, her hair's peaky tips now sagging with the weight of bloods. "Oh my God," said Miriam. "The other animals will smell the ice serpent's blood on you and stay away. You should be safe. It may open you up to attacks from fire serpents, but they're mostly hibernating around this time of year. Mostly." "Oh, okay," Miriam said. "Hurry back to your camp if you're not interested in dying." It was then, in a flash, Miriam turned into a wolf and vanished into the woods. Okay, that was chapter 1. I have 13 more chapters I've written. What do you think of the opening chapter? Honest thoughts. I'd be up for reading chapter 2, but I just need a moment to rest my voice. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's... the hope is to make this a decently long series. There we go. It's on a timer. The Okay. Thank you guys for indulging me. Go to bed, Fade. Tato, if you're here, thank you guys for indulging me on that. At some point. Oh, do you have to go to bed? Okay, go to bed. Yeah, it's probably. I'm can read more at some other point if people want to. But probably time to call it for now. Anyways. Okay, I think I'm gonna just
go to bed. I'm pretty tired myself. I think I'm just gonna go to bed.